Alright, so this is all trial and error from going out on my first day. I had all these third pans lined up, and I had these six pans in the third pans on this side, all four of them like that. And the rest was lined out with my hot dogs, my brats, my ham dogs, whatever, sausage dogs, whatever. And I found out that that is not a good way to do this because trying to keep things up to temp, maintaining it all day long for maybe a 5 hour shift is not that easy if it's not placed right. Considering this here, if you could see, my burner is a bar. So it's not circular burners like most carts have. This is sort of, I guess, a newer type model because this cart is a 2026 type model. So some things are changed up from how they used to do it. So I guess I don't know if everybody's doing this, but I know Louis the Hot Dog King. They're doing the bar burners on some of the carts, not all of them. Some carts do still have the circular burners, but my cart don't. So with that being said, this burner is only about maybe 20 inches or so, about the same as a spillage pan. So I decided to use that to my advantage. So if you could see my spillage pan, because I wasn't even using the spillage pan at first. I was just going straight heat, and that was not good, because it's still hard to maintain a steady temperature. So knowing that I should be using my spillage pan that I had put up, and I was like, I'm gonna use this spillage pan. So if you could see the spillage pan, it hangs off a little bit, like maybe 5 inches, 6 inches. Uh, and if I line it up, yeah, I could do that, but that is not going to help me control temp. So I came up with a new solution, which is very, very, very more logical. So I'm definitely going to be cooking my hot dogs here because it's going to be over straight heat within the spillage pan. You'll get the most heat. So right here also. So I'll probably definitely have chili, sauerkraut here because I want these to be the hottest items. As far as the onions and red sauce and the sauteed onions, they just need to stay warm. Maybe stay around 140, 145 degrees. They don't need to be like super hot because I'm only using this as a cooking area right here. See, that's where the magic comes in at. Cooking area, holding areas, because they're not going to be on the direct heat. The heat is going to be a little tad bit cooler than the 150, 155 for the cooking, and also the holding of the hot dogs and the sausage dogs and ham dog and stuff. Definitely will be down this side. I just want to maintain the 145 on my meats so my hot dogs can continue to have the most perfect snap and they don't get wrinkled or do any weird busting open or anything like that. I want everybody to have the perfect snap when people bite into them. I'm definitely upping my game on my recipe for my dirty water. I'm using the original recipe, but I noticed something about my ham dogs seasoning. So it's going to start from internal seasoning during prep at the commissary, and it's also going to have to do with maintaining that flavor because these are dirty water ham dogs. These are not ham dogs. They're sitting there and you throw them on the grill like we did in some short order restaurants I used to work at. But so to maintain that flavor, the water must also match the flavor of the ham dogs. So So when somebody bite into it, they say, "Oh, this is amazing because the flavor is good. I can taste the seasonings and all the ingredients or whatever that I put into them." So I'm going with this setup versus having these four guys next to each other, the six pans, and then all the rest of my third pans just lined up. That was, like I said, it's a learning process, trial and error, and you learn from your mistakes. So these two pans, I won't even need them. Hey, there's a fly. But these two pans, I won't even need them. So, not bad. Now, let me get my pans out of here because now that I did this little demonstration, I have to rewash my pans now. But at the same time, I just wanted to show that when you're trying to figure out the best possible way to hold and to cook, you have to make mistakes. You're going to make mistakes. And please mind the chickens in the back. My wife has chickens because she don't like buying eggs because they're expensive. Still expensive. Should have not been so expensive by now, but they still are. So that's a different story for a different day. And I think that's about it. Cause this really was about the pans and going out on my first day and realizing that my setup needs to be upgraded because I think that I was doing the wrong thing and I wasn't doing it right. I thought about it and I'm like, no, this is not right. So new setup, new cooking operation and holding operation. So I feel more comfortable with this, knowing where everything's going to be. Whether it's up, vice versa, however. But whatever's better for me, because whatever sells the most is what I'm going to be closest to. And my sautéed onions sell faster, and then the red onion sauce, and then my sauerkraut sells faster. No, I mean my chili sells faster than the sauerkraut, so chili will be closer to me. Um, Cooking hot dogs, because it's gonna be hotter than down here, but holding for my ham dogs and breasts, and then holding for sausage dogs and hot dogs. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much what I wanted to show you guys. And explain a little bit more about trial and error because I mean also look at the burns that I have on my pans. That's from having to learn that you need to use that spillage pan. Going straight up, straight fire is really not the way to go because you're going to scorch your pans. And I had to learn that, and I'm very thankful that these are 22 grade and not 24. They probably would have done burn a hole in them. So I'm thankful that everything, and that's another thing, when you're buying new pans and getting pans, find your lowest grade. I went with 22 because 22 is pretty much standard on down in restaurants, so you don't really burn anything up. But it happens. It happens. It just shows, hey, I'm doing me. I'm cooking. I'm not playing with this, and definitely not serving people cold food or food that can make them sick. So, hey, we're cranking up the heat over at the doghouse. But yeah, just a little something to let y'all know about how my first day went with learning that I was making a mistake by just throwing stuff up there and just going for it. I had my thermometer, I was checking all day long, and at some point I was like, hold on, wait, some of this is too high, and some of this, I'm checking, I'm constantly back and forth on this. I need the whole one steady temp, which I believe is best to have the 150 area here, 145, 145, 145. Try to maintain that as much as I can because how the bar sits and how I'm going to have the spillage pan sitting. Other than that, guys. I know this has been a very boring, one of my most boring videos, but I hope it helps someone out as far as pan placement for your setup and also temperature control for holding throughout your shift. Other than that, y'all have a very blessed weekend, and I will be letting you guys know, or definitely doing a video on how my second day is gonna go. And also I'm gonna be out there late that day too, because have to run some errands that morning. But I'll definitely be out there on meeting in John. So you guys come get a hot dog, come get a chili dog or something, or even try the ham dogs. I mean, you'd be surprised how much this ham dog is perfect. I can't even explain it. I want people to be surprised when they bite into the ham dog. That's just for the guys and the gals who love burgers and not really much of a hot dog person or a sausage dog person. They say, well, I like brats and I like burgers, but for those people, everybody have their preferences. But yeah, I just hope this video helps someone to understand that don't burn your pans. But it also shows that you're determined, you're ambitious, you want to get things right. And also, play around with your setup and your temperature so you can be at that perfect place every time you go out and set up. And you don't have to worry about nothing. All you have to do is just cover your pans, let them start rolling in the morning. While they're rolling, you're putting out your table and your setup or whatever, the rest of your peripherals, and you can open up quicker. Because doing it any other way, sometimes chili might take longer to heat up, or your hot dogs might not be ready on time or whatever. Because a lot of the stuff, you're pulling out the freezer, or you're trying to thaw them out, do a pull thaw the night before, rushing back and forth to the commissary. It's a headache, So, but if you make this thing fun, it won't be a headache. It's a long, boring video. Y'all have a blessed weekend. See you soon.